Only on 9 at 6, we've uncovered new plans for a downtown arena. Find out where it could go and how the city would pay for it. Then, if you've ever had to sit and wait for a train in Johnson County, we have good news for you. Learn about a new plan to save you time. Plus, there's a new ball team in town. We're live to show you what makes the T-Bones different from the Royals. Next, at 6.
KMBC TV, Kansas City. Thanks, Kansas City, for making us #1. This is KMBC 9 News at 6. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening, everyone. Kelly is off tonight. KMBC 9 News tonight has learned where consultants think Kansas City should build a downtown arena.
The recommended location for the arena around 13th and Main. It's a story you'll see only on 9. Michael Mahoney is breaking this story for us tonight. He's live at the site. Michael?
Yeah, we're down here on the south end of the loop. This is where this arena is supposed to be, between Main and Oak. Here's more on it. This is what the area looks like from Chopper 9. It's an underused part of South Downtown, populated by a few businesses, but mainly it's parking lot territory. And consultants believe keeping a downtown arena inside the loop close to the convention center can help revitalize downtown. The report says the new arena could cost between $180 and $200 million, about the same as before. But it says that does not include the cost of buying the land. And it also cautions there will be some need for additional revenue to cover the total cost of the arena and the surrounding district development. The new arena would have about the same capacity as Kemper for both sports and for concerts. And now for the money. Some of it could be raised by increasing the tax on car rentals in Kansas City. But the consultant's main source of money, a new state development plan, won't work.
We've patched together a budget here.
That's because the legislature won't let Kansas City do it that way. While the lawmakers did approve a new downtown development financing tool, which the city had hoped to use on the arena, it also contains a provision banning it from being used to build an arena or stadium with more than 10,000 seats. The source close to the plan now says they're back to the drawing board working up Plan B to come up with the money to pay for the new downtown arena. So here is the news. This draft report from the consultant says this arena should be down here on the south end of the loop between Main and Oak. It should seat about the same number of people as Kemper. It'll cost about $180 to $200 million, but they're still now working on a Plan B since the primary financing plan, a downtown development bill has limitations on it, so they are now working on a Plan B. That is the latest on the saga of a downtown arena. Back to you.
All right, Michael, thank you. Mayor Barnes could not be reached for comment. She's out of town. She originally promised to have a full plan ready by the end of March. So what do you think? Should Kansas City spend the money on a new downtown arena? You can cast your vote in an online poll at our website, thekansascitychannel.com.
More news tonight. A plan for improvements is roaring through Olathe like a freight train.
Railroad tracks that cut the city in half will be raised up over traffic.
Peggy Bright is live along Santa Fe. Peggy, this is good news for a whole lot of drivers.
That's absolutely true, Larry. In fact, a train just came by here, and if you've ever been to Olathe, you know about the trains. But did you know they average 1.5 miles in length? In fact, motorists wait an average of 2,200 hours every day for trains to go by here. Because of an injection of funding from the state, those waits will become a thing of the past. You can't escape from driving through Olathe. You can only wait and wait and wait.
We get tired of waiting on the trains in Olathe. We've been doing this for 25 years, and we get sick of it every time we go somewhere.
Well, we're talking 30,000 cars a day trying to cross and getting shut down. This town gets cut in half of a 24-hour day. 2 of those 24 hours are stopped waiting for trains to go through.
It's been a problem for decades, and it's only getting worse as Olathe grows and the number of trains coming through is rising. At today's State of the City address, Olathe's mayor announced the state's contribution to the $21 million project.
This amounts to $16,847,000. This is good for us.
Renderings show how the new tracks will simply go over 4 existing roads. Construction will cause few traffic delays, and when it's done, the project designer says smooth-flowing traffic won't be the only benefit.
There won't be any whistles for several miles either direction, and that's where most of the noise is coming from.
Now, the project is set to begin at the 1st of next year and be completed by the year 2005. Never soon enough. Back downtown to you, Laura.
All right, Peggy, thank you. A Kansas City man shot and killed overnight. It happened around 11 o'clock. 41-year-old Kenneth Evener walked up to an apartment complex at 24th and Quincy and was shot to death. The only description of the suspect is a black male in his early 20s wearing a blue jacket, blue hat, and dark pants. If you know anything that might help police, you can call the TIPS hotline, 816-474-TIPS. And a judge sentences a 17-year-old to spend the rest of his life in prison. His crime, a shooting that left the victim in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. A jury had convicted Jonathan Gazaway of the shooting in Swope Park last summer. The victim and his family were among those in court this afternoon to hear the sentence read.
4 high school students tonight accused of operating a very busy theft ring. The boys are charged with stealing more than 70 cars in 1 month, sometimes skipping school to do it. They allegedly stole vehicles from the Wyandotte High School parking lot as well as other schools and neighborhoods near 78th and State. Investigators started tying the thefts together after one particularly busy day.
About 3 weeks ago on a Friday, they went from high school to high school and stole 6 cars in one day, and there was 4 of them together, and we were able to tie them into those auto thefts, and they confessed to them.
The boys are ages 14 through 17. They're also suspects in at least 1 residential burglary and several car break-ins. The search continues tonight for 3 people wanted in a major counter-theft check ring. Still wanted by police, Mia Conley, Jessica Franklin, and Brian Berry. In all, 28 people face charges for a sophisticated $500,000 scheme. 23 were in custody on Tuesday. Police found 1 more already behind bars on a different case. Another is expected to surrender on Monday. And a woman pleads guilty to stealing purses from Overland Park churches, sometimes while weddings were taking place. Beth Hawley admitted taking cash and credit cards for the purses. She pleaded guilty to 3 counts of theft. Hawley will be sentenced on July 9th.
The Kansas City, Missouri School District wins a discrimination suit brought on by a former employee. Robert Riggs, an Asian American, claimed the district denied him a promotion because of his race. The jury rejected that claim.
New questions tonight about the flow of campaign cash from Westar to key Republicans in Washington. Documents reveal the company and its top executives donated tens of thousands of dollars. An email says the contributions were aimed at House Majority Leader Tom DeLay and 3 other Republicans. Westar wanted an exemption that would have been worth billions of dollars. DeLay and other Republicans deny any connection between the contributions and their votes.
It's been nearly a half-century since minor league baseball was in Kansas City.
The differences between minor and major league ball are even greater now than they were then. KMBC 9's Bob Worley joins us live to show us some of those differences from the home of the T-Bones in Kansas City, Kansas. Bob?
Right, Larry. The T-Bones home opener just an hour away, and I'm sitting in one of the differences. The seats are wider. There's more leg room so people can walk past. And then there's the money. The most expensive seats sold out for the season. That means $9.50 is the most a seat can now cost you. Business is steady at the ticket window, but what if the team doesn't win?
You got to remember that they're a minor league team and they're young, and I think that the community should just rally around and support them because it's just such a great opportunity.
Don't kid yourself. The players want an opportunity. But the salary cap for an entire team in their league is less than 1/3 what the lowest paid individual major leaguer earns.
These are the players that want to play baseball. I mean, they're not in it for the major bucks. They're not in it for the sponsorship. They want to play baseball.
Last-minute mulch on the family-friendly playground. A home run through the bullseye could mean $1 million for a fan. Food and drink you may not have seen before at a ballpark.
We have steak sandwiches, the hot dogs are all beef, just little things like that. We really wanted to impress upon people the quality of the food here.
They have something like this that's affordable for families to come to. The only way we ever get to go to Royals games is if somebody gives us the tickets because it's just too expensive.
Parking for a T-Bones game? It doesn't cost anything. Back live, some of the seats are padded. The park here seats about 4,500. Attendance tonight expected to be about 6,000. We're live at Community America Ballpark, Larry and Laura.
All right, thank you, Bob.
Tonight, a pair of problems for area drivers.
A torrent of water wipes out a section of a street in Prairie Village. We'll let you know where the problem is.
The problem at I-435 is a whopper of a hole. Coming up, a closer look at the problem and how traffic is handling it.
And we're going to have precipitation problems this weekend. In other words, rain. The forecast later on KMBC 9 News at 6.
From KMBC 9 News, Kansas City's news leader, Shelley Eckerman, Larry Moore, meteorologist Brian Busby, and sports with Len Dawson. You're watching KMBC 9 News at 6. Coverage you can count on.
A big problem on southbound I-435 caused big problems for motorists.
That's right. The hole is on a bridge just south of I-70 near Stadium Drive. Construction workers couldn't pour asphalt into it fast enough. They had already tried using wood to support it from below, but this afternoon they were forced to hammer it out and place metal plates over it. This is what it looked like from News Chopper 9. Tonight, construction crews will be pouring concrete in the hole to see if that will help. They had already reduced traffic to 2 lanes. The inside lane should be complete in 2 weeks.
A water main break shuts down a busy street in Johnson County. Tonight, Mission Road is closed between 71st and 73rd Street. The broken main sent water running down the street and even buckled the pavement. Tonight, the water is back on, but there's no word on how long it will take to repair the street. The bill is in for the first week of a special session to solve Missouri's budget mess. The session turned raucous yesterday with crowds cheering and booing the governor and top Republicans. So far, the special session has cost nearly $60,000. 2 Senate committees will resume work on the budget on Monday.
Well, an earthquake is felt in parts of Missouri. We'll tell you where it hit the hardest.
He served his country in Iraq, but tonight he's back home. We were there as his family welcomed him back.
And in First Alert weather, we broke a record today because of all the rainfall that we received. A little more is on the way for part of your weekend. We'll discuss those details coming up in just 1 second. First off, though, a double rainbow. Great photograph here. Team effort from Tasha, Brittany, Brandy, Wilson, all from Spickard, Missouri. Today's high temperature is 75 degrees and our low 59. That's still a little cooler than normal. We have a warming trend to talk about in First Alert weather coming up.
Breaking news of a national nature at this hour into the KMBC 9 newsroom.
We have a live look at a small plane that has crashed into a 3-story apartment building in Los Angeles. As you can see, there are emergency crews on the ground, but again, a small plane has crashed into an apartment building. We'll have more on this breaking national story at 10. Well, he missed Christmas, the New Year, and a birthday with his family.
Now a Pleasant Hill Marine is home from war. KMBC 9's Donna Pittman discovered his family was bursting with anticipation.
I cannot believe this. At any moment, Kim Grisham's cousin will be back home, a Marine back from Iraq.
That's probably it right there.
After 8 months, the waiting is rough. So tough, almost enough to drive you up a wall.
We're going to have to holler real loud.
And then...
You see him? Where are they coming from? Is he coming off? And here he is.
Hi, there you. What's up, buddy? How's it going, buddy? Hi.
Lance Corporal Chris Rickard is back on his native soil, Missouri, back to all the little things he misses most.
Grass, the weather, I mean, some rain. I mean, it sounds dumb, but I mean, over there it's so dry.
With him newly old Iraqi money worth nothing, he says you can't put a price on his time spent there.
I'm very proud. I mean, we did a great job. We took a country over in 28 days. I mean, outstanding work.
Donna Pittman, KMBC 9 News.
Rickard's hometown, Pleasant Hill, was throwing a homecoming celebration for him today. A second is planned on Sunday.
Well, folks on the other side of Missouri may have felt the earth moved this morning. An earthquake measuring 4.5 rocked western Kentucky. People in St. Louis felt the tremor. The quake was centered near Blandville, Kentucky. It damaged a county courthouse and other buildings, but thankfully no one was hurt.
No quaking around here, but a lot of rain overnight.
Oh, yeah. That was nothing New Madrid's fault.
No,
at all. No,
that was the first thing I thought about, though, when I read that story for the first time.
Tough to say, yeah. Anyway, so as far as what we're seeing as far as the rain is concerned.
Lots of rain.
Lots of it, yeah. So that thunder that you heard was not the earth shaking.
No.
Oh, good.
But it did break a record, believe it or not. Kind of interesting what's going on. Here you go. These are the stats on our computer because we did receive quite a bit of moisture at KCI. A record rain, 1.6 at KCI, which is a new record for this date. The old record, 1.22 for a 24-hour total, set back in 1990. Of course, that's a fond memory for those who wanted that rain because it's out of here. And now we just have a couple of clouds left over on our City View camera from Capital Federal Savings. This one on top of the tower. And remember, at 5 o'clock, we had a lot more of the cumulus clouds in the sky, now more blue than the white. Current temperature, 75 at this instant. Northwest winds at 7 miles per hour. The dew point at 50. We may see a little patchy fog tomorrow. tomorrow morning. Relative humidity is still pretty comfortable at 42%. Pinpoint 9 Doppler radar. Here's the live sweep coming around, going through Des Moines. Nothing going on toward the Quad Cities, certainly. It is all in the past, therefore it should be dry for tonight. Pleasant, according to Art Sherman in Lexington, his current reading 77, 79 for Warrensburg, 73s as you head toward Manhattan, and St. Joe 75 in Falls City, Nebraska. Here is Cloud Scan, and it shows the progression of that cloudiness and rain that moved through during the late night and the pre-dawn hours, and then didn't actually cut off until mid-morning for most of us. Then we broke out into the cumulus clouds and then the mostly sunny condition that we're enjoying right now in the autumn of the day, if you will. Here's the next branch of moisture moving in. That's the secondary low that gives us part of the weekend on the wet side. But for the interim, this is what we're going to see for tonight, good portion of tomorrow too. Dry weather. This is what's already passes by. This is what's coming in our direction. On the Doppler radar network, big thunderstorms, the severe nature way down south, now heading toward the Tennessee Valley and Ohio. So not only earthquakes, now thunderstorms, and they'll continue to plow its way toward Pittsburgh and even Philadelphia. Back to the west, clear for Nebraska and Kansas until you start to see the next impulse and what it's doing over the panhandle of Nebraska, parts of South Dakota, Wyoming, and Colorado. That's the next low. So the high pressure will be overhead, meaning the fair skies. Sun-cloud mixture, fog burns off. Most of your Saturday is going to be fine. Don't worry about outside plans unless they're going to go late into the evening. Why? Because that's when the low begins to track in our direction. High gives enough energy to move to the east. That's when we'll allow a little room for this low to move in. The good news is this low is not very strong, and also is going to move through pretty fast. Therefore, the chances of rain are not going to linger into all your weekend. I think it'll be out of here, much like our batch today. In other words, during the overnight hours, first part of the day on Sunday, then it should clear out for Sunday afternoon. Temperature-wise for your weekend, 66 for Lincoln, 66 for Dodge City, 76 for Tulsa. Sunday's high temperatures a little warmer, in the 70s all across the area as the thunderstorm chances dwindle and the rain moves out. Overnight, we'll see a good chance of fog, 57 in the morning, 71 in the afternoon. Actually, you know, this is the old forecast page that the computer did not update, so ignore this and look at the 5-day trend. I like these numbers better, don't you? There's no 71. No, 78 on Saturday. Much better. Then on Sunday, a high of 73. Monday, lots of sunshine and a high of 78. 81 on Tuesday, finally near normal. Wednesday, a chance of thunderstorms and a high of 73 degrees.
Take that one any day.
Over that, yeah.
So record rain.
Record rain.
All right. I thought it was raining a lot.
Oh, yeah. A lot of folks got it, too.
Thanks, Brian.
Well, as we told you a little earlier, it is opening night for the newest team in town.
Karen Kornacki is live at the ballpark for the home opener of the T-Bones.
That's right. I'm in the lawn section with the fans. You can check out. They are hungry for baseball. They're hungry for food, and we'll talk to some of the players. That's coming up next in sports.
The T-Bones, they are here, Len.
All right.
All ready to go.
Time for T-Bones baseball then. Karen Kornacki joins us live from Community American Ballpark in Kansas City, Kansas. And Karen, after a 13-game road trip, how happy are these guys to be back home?
Len, I got to tell you, they are so excited to start a new season here in Kansas City. And even though most of the players don't know their way around this town, they're just happy to be home. Check this out. They took batting practice just a couple of hours before the game. And, you know, they think they have one of the nicest fields in this league. They had to play their first 13 games on the road until this ballpark was finished. They said the road trip was a nightmare. They had rain, their bus broke down, and one of their players got run over on the field by a promotional car. But despite all that, they only won 4 games, and yes, they are so happy to be home.
I think a lot of players are really excited to come here and play. You know, they've been talking about the whole road trip, really couldn't wait to get home, and, you know, I just think it's going to be a good atmosphere for baseball.
We had a long road trip and maybe got a little tired, we were pushing a little hard, and now we're looking to be home and relax and just play baseball.
Oh, we've been waiting to get back here since day one of the road trip. You know, all the guys, we saw the schedule come out, and we were, you know, just depressed. You could see it in everybody's eyes, and now that we're finally back, can't be more excited. And everybody's joking around out there when we were stretching. We didn't need to stretch. We were all loose just from all the excitement that's building from finally being here.
Now, Jonathan Kreisa from Lee Summit will start tonight for the T-Bones, and this game is sold out, but there are plenty of tickets available for this 9-game homestand. Looks like a beautiful night, Len. It should be a lot of fun. Back to you.
All right, Karen, thank you very much. The Royals season continues tonight with more interleague action. Kansas City's at Colorado. Chris Wilson is scheduled to make his 3rd straight start. The Royals begin the night 1 game under 500. And they'll play the game without their all-star first baseman. Mike Sweeney was hit on the top of the left hand on that pitch last night in the loss to Los Angeles. X-rays were negative, but the hand is swollen. Sweeney's return is day to day. Other baseball news, Sammy Sosa was suspended today for 8 games for using a corked bat. Sosa immediately filed an appeal. The hearing will not be held until next week, so Sosa will be eligible for the 3-game series against the Yankees starting tonight. NBA Finals continue tonight with New Jersey at San Antonio. Game time is 7:30 right here on Channel 9. More than 250 high school football players turned out at William Jewell College today for a 1-day camp that was put on by the coaching staff at Missouri. Head coach Gary Pinkel says keeping tabs on local talent is a never-ending process, and he admits it hasn't been easy.
It's been a tough 2 years, you know, and quite honestly, it's been difficult because it's to build a program. I knew I was going to have to go through this too. We almost got to a bowl last year, but I just want my staff and my players to reap the benefits of the program and what we do and what we're about, and I mean from a winning standpoint.
There's too much talent in the Kansas City area not to come in here, university coaches, and try to get it.
That is for sure, Lem. Thank you very much. On our final page for you tonight at 6, do you polka?
For those of you who do, or even for you polka rookies, that would be the place to be this weekend is Sugar Creek. They were setting up for the annual Slavic Festival today. That means plenty of traditional treats to eat and plenty of polka music.
A great weekend of fun. That's our report for you tonight at 6. We hope you'll join us again tonight at 10.
We'll all be here. We'll see you then.
Even the rookies.
Even the rookies.